We ready. We ready. We ready for y'all. We ready. Not just kidding. Hello. What up and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, people. It has been, according to Jason Greger, 339 days since the Florida Panthers defeated the Edmonton Oilers in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Zach, we were sitting in these very goddamn seats. They're not cursed because the boys are back here. A lot has happened since then. This team has seen important pieces leave. We've seen important pieces join the team. They dealt with slow starts. They dealt with injuries to depth players, star players alike. Then you get in the postseason, go down 0-2. But these Edmonton Oilers will not be denied, as they are 4 wins away from immortality and getting some sweet, sweet revenge on the Florida Panthers' asses. I'm excited for this one. I know everybody in this city is. It's buzzing right now. We've been here every single step of the way. There is a different energy right now. The trucks, they're so loud, honking away, more flags than ever. Greta already packed so many people heading into the game. I just did a lap around Greta. Every bar top seat is reserved to the seat, name right in front of them. Tonight's going to be a pretty fucking insane one, we hope to be. Hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy, brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant, and it's a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today, because you know the drill, people. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Did you miss us? Because we're back. We're pregaming. Hey, max 7 more games. I'm ready to unload the clip on this show. And down here at Greta Barriere, going to be another event. Every single game we've got left, we're going balls to the wall here at Greta Barriere. Everything's reserved. Make your calls now. Make your texts now. Maybe even send me a DM. I might be able to pull some strings for you, because we are going all out for the remaining 7 games of this playoffs this evening. Joined by Zach Laing in person. We'll also be joined by Devan Dubnyk in person a little bit later on Pregaming. As you guys noticed, he's in Edmonton. Wheels have touchdown for the Dubs. Also, he's even bigger than you would think in person. It was kind of crazy. Clean ass dap, dude. We dapped, brought it in, and then you kind of like snap a little bit. Rock that one. And Brett, what did Dubs do to you?
I am pretty sure that I had a handprint on my hand or on my back from him. Like, same thing. Do the little hug afterwards, and I like felt my back afterwards, and I felt how tight it was. Somebody also said in the chat of O&E today that in the mega stream that we should get a picture of me and Doobie next to each other, because now that I think about it, I may actually be the shortest staff member at O&E.
Who's shorter, you or was?
Me.
Yeah?
Yeah, was.
Then, yeah, probably.
Barely.
I don't know why you just outed yourself like that. Dude, it's game 1. Let's go.
I'm wearing my taller shoes today.
I've got my lifts in. I only have my lifts. Shout out George Costanza for that. But Zachary, joined by you. I texted you this morning and I said, hey, you want to come on down to Greta? You want to hang with Bordzy? You want to pregame with Bordzy and Dubsy? What'd you say? Of course you said yes.
Of course I'm in. Yeah. Very excited to be here. Very excited for the Stanley Cup Finals to kick off here, man. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, and the buzz is here. Even for myself, like driving home from Nation HQ this afternoon, I ripped down 104th
Oh, the buzz you speak of.
Oh, yeah. Woo. Ripped down 104th Ave, past the rink and everything, and it was absolutely floored. And this was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There was already a huge line for the Moss Pit, huge line for the other tailgate parties going on down there. I'm expecting this place here to be absolutely slammed. Just a couple days ago, or after the Dallas series, I was looking back from my phone at a couple of clips that I took, like a couple little videos that I took of here in Greta, where it was like standing room only, and we were like it's just I can't think of an analogy beside a can of
It's
sardines.
basically a mosh pit down here in
God.
front of some screens. It's fantastic. We all remember the Cup Finals last year. That's probably the sweatiest person in the entire city looking at it right here. Number 2 behind the camera.
What up,
in my boy Brett Holden as well. It's going to be a good one, brother. I'm very, very excited. Also, the city buzzing. Shout out Arkell's down at the fan park. playing a show at 4 p.m. It's probably just finished right about now. And shout out to Max Kerman for not only coming down to Edmonton, going to play the show, do all that stuff because that man loves hockey. He loves Canada, and we are bringing it home. But he also, in the middle of the afternoon, was like, no, yeah, I could totally squeeze you guys in the mega stream, join Oilers Nation every day. He was only there for 10 to 15 minutes because his agent the whole time was like, Bordzy, wrap this shit up. We got to wrap this shit up right now. And classic Max, he was like, no, I got another story to tell you guys. He even said, me and my band haven't rehearsed in months, but we're just going to let it rip down there at the fan park tonight. I'm sure they killed it. Of course they did.
During sound check, they had somebody come up to them and be like, hey guys, I know you guys are doing sound check, but the Florida Panthers are trying to sleep right now. So like,
turn it up to 11, brother.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of the good old South American football little play where you just keep the opposition team up the whole
I'd pull
night.
their fire alarm if that was the case. I'd be doing that. Also, there's an illness going around the city. Stay away from the Edmonton Oilers. Feel free to get in their hotel. Do whatever you want to do. Let's get caught up in the chat, though. Some people, Brett, they said, shouldn't this start at 5 p.m.? Okay, it's been a madness day here at Oilers Nation. We've had the mega stream going on all day. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing that one today. Oilers Nation Jeopardy went very, very well. I think that was like the funnest thing we did. Brett, the wing eating contest, Zach, as a man who has tried the atomic wing sauce, shout out to Boston Pizza for that one. We played a little game of guess who scored the goal based off the goal call that Waz and Brett weren't allowed to see it, but hear it. Incredibly difficult game to play. I found that very, very difficult. You did pretty good.
Spoiler alert, they were all Leon Draisaitl.
I know.
It's all Draisaitl.
Even some guy in the chat was like, what if he just made them all dry? I was like, 4 out of 5 of them are.
And the one that it wasn't, I got right. I had to eat 5 of those fucking wings.
Yeah.
Waz is full of shit. As somebody who's had those atomic wings and drank the sauce, anything for the Ben Stelter Foundation, though, that shit is hot. And Waz was like playing it off like he was Mr. Cool.
I could see the sweat beads on his forehead. I'm 6 feet away from him. I can see the sweat.
That shit's hot.
Yeah, it is. Bob Stoffer's in. Let's fucking get this shit. Love you all. For Ben, for Connor, for the nation, baby. Also, it's been a little bit of madness down here at Oilers Nation today. There are some people getting credentialed for the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. So, hey, we up, baby, and we appreciate all the love that we got from all the fans. We know you guys appreciate what we do, and you support it. Do so nicely, because we're also, come on, we got to save face here with the Edmonton Oilers. We got to look good. Couple boys. Patrick, let's go, boys. Eric Richards, big bad Bouchard bomb from the point ends this one in, Brett, what does that say?
Overtime!
God, that's good. Sadistic Angel, let's go Oilers. Get her done, boys. Cheryl, so pumped for tonight. First game to the last hurdle on our way to a motherfucking cup year.
Cup year.
Cup year.
Veronica, my queen, let's go Oilers, also says, I love you, Connor McDavid. I mean, hey. Also, Bordzy the grafter. Don't totally know what that means. Grifter, I'm definitely a grifter.
Bordzy the shafter, I think.
All right, you're muted.
You're done.
Before we move along, going to give a quick shout out. Odd Company, Nation Beer, Everyday Lager. Perfect for game day, perfect for every day. Absolutely perfect squared on a Stanley Cup Finals game day. I already picked up my flat for this round. I had like 7 days off between, maybe not off, still doing ONE, but between pre and post, I stocked up on my new flat of Nation Beer Everyday Lager. I have gotten a flat for every single round. I have crushed that flat every round. The funny part is I keep mentioning I don't actually watch games at home, so I'm just doing all that on my spare time, but they are delicious. Shout out to Odd Company. Pick them up 2 locations in the Edmonton area, downtown or Ritchie. And hey, it's nice out. Go check out the Odd Company patio. They got some delicious pizzas down there. Head on down. It is a very, very good time. But Zachary, mama, we made it back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 1 coming at you after what has been a surprisingly, I'll use the word smooth run for the Edmonton Oilers. You can't say easy. Nothing ever comes easy in the NHL playoffs in any professional sport. But shockingly smooth, I will say. Edmonton is 12-2 since going down 0-2 to the LA Kings in round 1. Yes, that's 12-4 in total. But since they went down 0-2, this Oilers squad looks destined for the Stanley Cup Finals. We've heard Matthew Tkachuk say it repeatedly, even last year in the handshake line to Connor McDavid. We'll see you again next year. He's been consistent in that all playoffs long. Even at media day yesterday, he kept saying, I've thought all season long, they're the best team, we're the best team, and you know it when you play each other. Something tells me there's going to be some fireworks in this series. But what can you say about the run so far here for the Oilers? Last year, it felt stressful. It felt crazy. It was a roller coaster. You're down 3-2 to the Vancouver Canucks at points. Obviously, you were down 0-3 to the Florida Panthers. But this year, it's just been smooth sailing after those first 2 losses to the LA Kings. You dog walk the Vegas Golden Knights, the Pacific Division champion Golden Knights, and then you dog walk the Dallas Stars in 5 games in the Western Conference Final. And it's kind of, I mean, we sound like a broken record, but it's been on the back of everything here for the Edmonton Oilers. It has been star players. It's been depth scoring. It's been excellent play on the back end, whether that's offensive, defensive, just moving the puck out. They've leaned on both goaltenders here, Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard, and they've both been incredibly good at points in this postseason. And then you think about it, the weirdest part, because last year in the regular season, Oilers dominant, 16-game win streak. We all felt, okay, this is the year, the cup year. I was just kidding last year. But then you go through this year's regular season. It was not smooth. There was very bad stretches, especially to start the season. They dealt with injuries to depth players, star players, but here they are yet again. I would also argue, and this is just my theory, I really think Connor and Leon being injured at the end of the regular season really paid dividends for this depth for the Edmonton Oilers, because we didn't see him show up much in the regular season. They did for the final, 10, 12 games. And then, bang, you get here in the NHL playoffs, and the depth scoring has been absolutely incredible. But that's just it. It's been a team approach. It's been a veteran, experienced approach here from the Edmonton Oilers. McDavid had a quote after, when he was being interviewed by Gene Principe after Game 5, when they touched the Clarence Campbell Bowl trophy. He said, quote, "This year feels a little bit more normal. It has been the status quo. It hasn't been as emotional. It's been very direct. It's been smooth and steady. It feels like this is where this team is supposed to be." And Zachary, we'll get into it. I'm feeling pretty confident, pretty good about the state of the Edmonton Oilers game right now.
Yeah, absolutely, bad. I mean, it's been really interesting, these playoffs. I mean, you take a look at the Vegas, go back to LA, right? The Oilers spot them the 2-0 lead. They did not look put together in those first 2 games. And it makes sense. McDavid and Draisaitl hurt down the stretch. There's a number of other guys, too, that were injured that were kind of coming back into the lineup for the first time there. The obvious 4-game win streak to finish off that series, you carry it into Vegas. And I mean, really, when you look at the Vegas and Dallas series, there's legitimate argument to be made that both of those series should have been a sweep. I mean, the only reason the Vegas Golden Knights won a game was because of Leon Draisaitl scoring it for them, right? And then against the Dallas Stars, the Oilers spotted a little bit of a lead early in the series.
Crumbled in Game 1, third period.
The rest of it is history, right? It has been quick, and I think that's the most interesting thing about it, because when you go back to last year, it wasn't the case. 6 games against the LA Kings in the first round, or 7 games against the Vancouver Canucks in round 2, 6 against the Stars, 7 against the Panthers. There's a lot of hockey to be played. We haven't quite had as much hockey to be played here this time around this season. So I think that's probably why it feels like it's been, kind of easy or smooth sailing, whatever you want to use there. But man, now's the time. This is when it gets serious. They know what to expect now. They know what it's like to be in the circus, the Stanley Cup final, and they are roaring and ready to go.
There's just been no surprises. It's that veteran approach, the experienced approach of, hey, we've been down before. We know what we need to do. We all know as Oilers bettors. Live bet the comeback in the series. Do whatever you got to do. There's no panic in the squad, and I think that comes from the captain himself in one Connor McDavid. And this year, right, it just feels like Connor McDavid will not be denied. I'm knocking on wood as I say that, but I'm not the only one sending that message. You hear all the talking heads in the Eastern media, even West Coast, whatever. This is the year for Connor McDavid. Even Biz on Spit and Chicklets was saying it, which he is the biggest mush on planet Earth. Stay away from my Edmonton Oilers as well. But Connor, one of the greatest to ever play the game. We all know this. And last year, dude, he was on another level in the NHL playoffs. 42 points, sets the record, wins the Conn Smythe, doesn't go out. And this year, while it hasn't been as flashy as whatever, I know you wrote a beautiful article on your 5 storylines heading into the series. Shout out. But you pointed out Connor McDavid's points per game. Hey, they're just a tick right underneath. I believe his goals per game actually might even be a little bit higher than last year. But Connor McDavid just has the eye of the tiger going on right now. He's been scoring goals in the biggest moments, right? When the Oilers are losing all the momentum, he does it on his own. He's been slicing and dicing through teams. And then I mean, I get that nobody gives a shit about this, but I do. Wayne Gretzky loses his first cup final to the New York Islanders. What does he do the next season? Scratches, claws, fights all the way back to get to the cup final, eventually beats the New York Islanders. Sidney Crosby, same thing with the Red Wings in 08-09. He then gets it done. It feels the same way here for Connor McDavid. And we saw the emotion that Connor McDavid showed in the Amazon doc last Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, that was after game 2.
That was after game 7. Or no, sorry, the
dig
in.
in.
Yeah, I think it was after game 2.
Yeah, Amazon had... I didn't need to watch after the game 7, and I still did. It was torture in my own body, but I still did it, and that's going to make you all the more motivated this season. But the thing about McDavid, he's looked different. He's got that eye of the tiger, and the difference this season to me, and this applies also to Leon Draisaitl incredibly, I think Connor McDavid, sitting down at the end of the regular season, he feels very good. He feels fresh. He's had time off, and I think he is about to unload the clip. If I could bet Connor McDavid 2+ points every single game here, I think I'm going to, because he's the face of this team. He's the face of the NHL, and his time is now, Zachary.
Yeah, he is, man. It really feels like he's not going to be denied here this season. He's been on another level these playoffs. One of the things that I wrote about in that piece is that he's actually generated more, expected goals individually here through the Western Conference Finals this year than he did last year. Generated 6.01. I think last year he's up to 9.4 now, and he's only scored 6 goals. So he's actually due for a little bit of positive scoring regression here too. So I'm expecting big things for McDavid here in this series. Just looking back at last year in the Stanley Cup Finals, he was incredible, right? 3 goals, 11 points in 7 games played. No other Oilers player had more than 5 points.
Who's number 2 on that list?
Warren Fogle.
Of course he is.
Also tied with Evan Bouchard with 5 points. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens here, this time around, because the depth scoring's been big for this team. But the big guns, man, they've continued to keep barking all playoffs now.
The one big difference this season, and I do think it truly matters, home ice advantage is in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. They didn't have it last June. They haven't had it all postseason long. They've been on the road against LA, been on the road against Vegas, been on the road against the Dallas Stars. But here we are, game 1 of the Cup final, and it's being played down the road at Rogers Place in what I expect to be an incredibly, incredibly rowdy barn. I know some guys that are going down there. You've seen the ticket prices for these hockey games for games 1 and 2. Possibly 5 or 7 as well. If you're going to spend that much money to go down there, you are going to impact that hockey game. And I think I cannot say enough about how big home ice advantage will be, because yes, obviously you're going to get the crowd. They're going to have all that energy. You would get game 7 on home ice as well. But I think the thing last year, hey, Captain Obvious, the Edmonton Oilers start in their series against the Panthers, it was non-existent. They went down 0-2 just like that. And the fact of the matter is, you can lean on your home crowd to start this series. Start with the best foot forward. If you can win game 1, we're not even talking game 2 because it's one at a time here. But here you go. You're already feeling good about your team, where you are. And I do just believe that you got last change. You got the crowd. Florida hasn't traveled nearly as much as the Edmonton Oilers have had to in this postseason. And hey, I think that's going to be a huge, huge factor to start the series, Zachary, because the Oilers, they can't dig themselves a hole like they did last season. I know. You better come back even they're down 0-3. We all believed every step of the way. They shot themselves in the foot and continued to try running a marathon last postseason. You cannot do that. You're going to start hopefully very hot games 1 and 2 leaning on that home crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. Home ice advantage is going to be huge for this team. Something they haven't really been able to taste a lot of here in the playoffs, but they were just ahead of the Florida Panthers in the NHL standings by enough to secure the spot. So yeah, it's going to be huge, and I think it's going to be big for the crowd to get involved in this series early on. These first 2 games are going to be the most important of this entire series, as far as I'm concerned. Would have loved to have asked the Oilers, what their thoughts were on, trying to get up early in this series here this year. Obviously didn't have the chance to do that this time around, so be it. But I really do think that these initial couple games for the Oilers are going to be huge. If they can walk away with a 2-0 series lead out of these 2 games here, that would be massive. And even just being able to have the split would be huge. And go back to Florida, see what you can do there. Yeah, it's going to be a fun couple of weeks in Edmonton, buddy.
I love it. Shooter McGavin. The cup is coming back to Canada. Mark my words. Shout out to Boston Pizza as well, because they've been doing some awesome stuff. No, Brett, that's not actually Lad Reed. I just want to give them some love. Also, Boston Pizza brought a giant bus down outside Rogers Place today, and we're giving out vouchers for free individual pizzas. Shout out to them. They also hooked us up with some awesome lunchtime meals earlier today. But hey, gentlemen, let's play this game. Let's do it in the chat as well, because I'm very curious what all you guys think. What is your series prediction in this one? What did you guys put on the whiteboard at the office?
Oil in 5.
Okay, so you did. Brett, what about you? What'd you go with?
I also went Oilers in 5.
I respect your guys' balls, but I am way too big of a pussy that I went for 7 games for the Edmonton Oilers, because I do think – so let me walk both sides of the argument here, because I think sometimes people – you're a little crazy to expect that this series ain't going 7 and that one could dog walk the other. They are both elite. We know the Florida Panthers. They're a playoff-style team through and through. They're big, they're mean, they're physical. They're forecheck, and we'll talk about it in the Sherwood Fort Giants storyline. That's what I'm watching. How do the Oilers defensemen break the puck out? Because that has basically been what has gotten them here to the Stanley Cup Finals, getting the puck up to your skilled players. Oilers are a puck possession-style team. But how will Florida combat that? And then you look at their roster. They're loaded in the top 6. Their third line of Eetu Luosterainen, Anton Lundell, Brad Marchand, that's probably the best third line in any league, anywhere, anytime, because those 3 boys, they're pretty damn good. But for me, I think it's going to go 7. But I do understand, and Tyler's kind of got me on this theory of the 5 games, and he kind of sold me. He goes, we'll do it here. Could you see the Edmonton Oilers winning both games at Rogers Place to start the series?
Yes.
Could you see them splitting on the road in Florida?
Yes.
If they're up 3-1 and they're playing at Rogers Place in Game 5, are they losing that game?
No.
Exactly, and I know that it's so much easier to say, and we got to watch the games be played, but I understand why people are super confident. The thing that makes me nervous is how many talking heads out there are all picking the Edmonton Oilers, because I liked it more. It's your classic thing in sports, like even the New England Patriots back in the day, to be fucking undefeated, and they'd be like, they're counting us out, man. They're doubting us, because athletes, they got to find whatever motivation they can. But round 1, Oilers, they didn't have home ice. They go down 0-2. Everyone's talking about, will this team ever be the same? Will they make it back? Well, then they do that, okay? They weren't favored against the Vegas Golden Knights. They get that one done. They weren't favored against the Stars. They get that one done. Don't change up on me now, media, okay? You want to be an Oilers hater, you be a hater. I'm going 7 games. No one in this chat, I'm sure, is predicting a Florida win. I also see Veronica. She's a woman of few words in here. She loves McDavid, and she hates the Florida Panthers because they suck. Chell, Panthers are good on the road. It will be a battle. The other thing, the Edmonton Oilers, they got to fix their penalty kill if they're going to find a way to beat this Florida Panthers team. Brett, we have the tail to tape numbers between both the Panthers and the Oilers. If you could throw those up there for me, because brother, not very good when your PK is 66.0% in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's kind of crazy that they've made it this far when those numbers look that bad. The Panthers power play, they are no slouches, 23.2%, but we know what they can do when given the opportunity. That is a big circle of importance for me in this series. The crazy part is it's been in every series so far. The Oilers have been getting dummied in that category and still finding a way to win. But you remember last postseason, last Stanley Cup Finals, the Edmonton Oilers PK was arguably the best asset of their team. They were scoring shorthanded goals consecutively against these Florida Panthers. They got to clean up the penalty kill. They need to be smart, not go into the box, because this Panthers team, just like the Oilers, they're so veteran, they're so experienced, they're so skilled, they will make you pay if you give them the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. The special teams is definitely going to be something to watch here for sure. What's really interesting is that both teams have some kind of curious special team splits. So for the Edmonton Oilers, obviously their penalty kill has been a real struggle bus, 66%. Don't love to see that. However, on the road, so on home ice, they're killing off 83.3% of the penalties they take. On the road, it's just 55.2%. Okay. The Florida Panthers power play, 23%, totally fine number right there. At home, their power play is operating at a 3.6% clip at home. And on the power play, they're at 42.9%. So it's really kind of interesting because it's going to be the kind of the
sure
battle
about
of the big thing. I am. I've looked it up. It's crazy to kind of look at, right? But Florida cannot get anything going on the power play at home. Oilers penalty kill's been terrible on the road. Well, obviously, we're starting this series here where, the Oilers power play has been good. The penalty kill for the Panthers on the road has been really good this year. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, man. I think it's going to be one of the bigger storylines here in this series for sure.
Both teams so incredibly skilled. I'm going to be, every time somebody takes a penalty, I'm going to be a nervous wreck, whether it's the Edmonton Oilers taking it, whether it's the Panthers taking it, because I do think special teams massive in this series. Because when both teams are so good, and we know they're both very good 5v5 dominance, it is that. Those are the areas that are going to win you the series. Quickly, want to give a shout out, Oodle Noodle. Let's give them some love as well, people. Come on, it's the Cup Finals. You don't want to cook. You should just be ordering. Download their app today, and when you do so on game days, Bert, hit it for me. Game day promo. 2 signature boxes, 2 signature spring rolls for just $29.97. Who I'm expecting huge things from Leon Draisaitl in the series today. Tyler's game day bet. It's basically just Leon Draisaitl centric. And after last Stanley Cup Finals, he only had 3 apples in 7 games. I think he'll be motivated. But hey, you should be motivated to order some Oodle Noodle. Get it delivered to your house, or you can pick it up at one of their 16 or 18 locations around the city. They are the best, truly through and through. I kind of just choked right there. Now, Wilhauk Beef Jerky need to know information, courtesy of our friends at Wilhauk. Only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name, and made from 100% pure Alberta beef. Oh, that's beef. You can find them exclusively out of their Leduc location. For more information, head on over to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So we love some stats, especially when they're in favor of the Edmonton Oilers. This one's pretty amazing. The Oilers are the 8th team to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals after losing their first 2 playoff games. The other 7, the 2018 Capitals won the Cup. 2014 Kings won the Cup. 2011 Bruins won the Cup. 2006 Canes, don't know what happened there. They just never finished that one. The 2002 Red Wings, they won the Cup. 93 Habs, they won the Cup. 92 Penguins, they won the Cup. So, hey, I'll let you connect the dots here as well. Also, Tyler Remchuk just showed up, and maybe even one pal. Maybe he played goalie for the Edmonton Oilers back in the day. Chris Knobloch did confirm Connor Brown expected to be in the lineup tonight. He had been in concussion protocol since Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals against the Dallas Stars. Remember, Alex Petrovic lit him up along the boards. Expect him to be good to go. The weird part was Connor Brown didn't practice in their last one because he was ill. And Zachary, as you know, going around Oilers Nation right now, and I'm pretty sure I was patient zero for all of it. Everybody in our office is pretty sick right now. That needs to stay away from the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. I ran through it this weekend. A couple of other people too. Got the Bordzy flu. What can we say,
hey,
right?
Flu game.
Yeah, flu game, exactly, right? So, yeah, hopefully it's nothing serious for Brownie. It sounds like he's going to be in the lineup. Doesn't sound like there's going to be any changes, but, warm-up's going to be happening here within minutes. So we'll make sure to keep an eye on things.
Pour one out for our boy Zach Hyman, out for the remainder of the playoffs. So we do expect Victor Arvidsson to stay in the lineup in that 4th line spot. Then Stuart Skinner, he's getting the start tonight. He has been a completely different person since taking over the net in round 2 against the Vegas Golden Knights. And last year, Stanley Cup Finals, he actually outdueled Sergei Bobrovsky when you look at save percentage. Bob won 4 games, Stu won 3. I understand, but Stu right now currently owns a .904 save percentage across 10 appearances. I know you can't play the game, but if you take out those first 2 losses where the Oilers couldn't figure out their shit, Stuart Skinner, he's been pretty damn good for the Edmonton Oilers. On the Florida Panthers side of things, basically their need-to-know info. Jesper Boquist, he's going to be in the lineup on the 4th line while AJ Greer will be out. Keep your eye open on Boquist because he's been a sneaky good productive player on the 4th line this postseason for the Panthers. I was listening to Chicklets yesterday. Sam Reinhart was on talking about how we don't understand how this Boquist kid hasn't stuck around with many teams, and that I think we're going to keep him around here in Florida. Sam Bennett, he leads the NHL playoffs in total goals with 10 of them right now. Alex Barkov, he's 5th in points. And then I mentioned it already, that Panthers 3rd line of Anton Lundell down the middle, Luster-Ryan on the left, and Brad Marchand on the right. They have brought insane depth scoring, insane production for the Panthers on that 3rd line, and they are actually 1, 2, 3 in plus minus so far this postseason. And that's just kind of the benefit you get when you have such a deep roster, just like the Oilers do as well, but you can spread out and put a guy like Brad Marchand on the third line, taking advantage of way lesser matchups for the other team's defense. And then finally, Sergei Bobrovsky is going to be in the crease here for the Florida Panthers tonight. He was excellent in last year's postseason. We remember early on in the series and the Stanley Cup Finals last year, Bobo standing on his head, man. I remember game one. He was insane. The Oilers need to find a way to crack him. We'll talk to Devan Dubnyk about ways that maybe the Edmonton Oilers can do it. But hey, Darcy Kemper, Vezina-style goaltender, or Vezina Trophy nominee goaltender. Jesus, Bordzy, until I haven't done this in a week. Hey, they got through him just fine. Aiden Hill, they got through him just fine. And then Jake Ottinger, I don't know if he'll ever be the same, but that also might have to do with Pete DeBoer being kind of a little bitch. I'll say it right there, and that'll do it for our need-to-know information. Quickly, Sherwood Ford Giant storyline brought to you by Sherwood Ford the Giant. They got their awesome Nation Valet service going on right now. Let's do the storyline, then I'll bring on Dubes, because I see he's on the phone right now. I don't want to interrupt him. Shout out to Sherwood Ford Nation Valet service. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your office. They'll pick up your vehicle, drive it on over to the dealership, do whatever scheduled maintenance needs to be done, oil change, tires, whatever that's reasonable. Doesn't even need to be a Sherwood Ford make or model. Could be any type of vehicle, and they will get the job done for you. Sherwood Ford the Giant for a reason. So my whole storyline to this entire series, and I'm curious to get Dube's thoughts a little bit later, how do the Edmonton Oilers defense, how do they handle this aggressive Florida forecheck? I think the whole series will be won and lost there because, as I mentioned earlier, part of the reason the Oilers are here is because they are such a puck possession team. They get the puck up to their skilled players. They use their speed, their puck possession in the O zone. But the way guys like Jake Wallman, John Klingberg, your Evan Bouchard, your Brett Kulaks, and whoever else has been on the back end for the Edmonton Oilers, they have been so consistent, so good in not turning the puck over in their own end. Clean breakouts, smart breakouts, maybe off the glass and out, just trying to fight to live to see another day. And I think that is going to be priority number one in this series. We know Florida, they're physical, they're mean, they're going to throw in some dirty shots there as well. And we watched the Edmonton Oilers all regular season. How many backbreaking errors did we see in their own end, giving him up to skill players on the other squad? And as I keep saying, the Panthers will make you pay. My storyline that I'm watching from games 1 to 7 is going to be, can the Oilers stay composed in their own end, not get rattled, and cleanly break the puck up?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be one of the most key things to watch. You know, Chris Knobloch had some interesting comments during media day, yesterday, where he talked, he was asked a couple of times about how do the Oilers, how do you guys kind of counter this? And I think the biggest, common thread through it all was, our defensemen have to be really good with the puck on their stick. That, to me, is going to be the most important thing. What's really interesting this year versus last year, the Oilers have added a couple of guys who can move the absolute hell out of the puck. Jake Wallman, John Klingberg, 2 excellent puck-moving defensemen. Everybody else is going to be healthy on this team. I'm looking for the blue line to play a big part in this series. They're going to need to, because the way you counter that aggressive forecheck, as our friend Bruce Kurlock wrote in his tactical preview, which you still have time to go read at Oilersnation.com, that's the way you kind of counter that, is by moving the puck efficiently and effectively. You cannot be sloppy with it. You have to possess the puck. You have to get it out with possession. That's going to be the biggest thing to kind of counter that, I think. And I do think, I don't want to shit on some boys. Vinny Desharnais, Cody Ceci. You upgrade that to your Jake Wallmans, your John Klingberg. Brett didn't like that I said Vinny. Also, did he play that much in the Cup final? No. For a reason, he didn't play exactly, and I think the Oilers are way more equipped this year to deal with that aggressive Florida team. Bert, let's go now. Let's go through what we project to be the Edmonton Oilers lineup this evening. Top line, we expect to be Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was the MVP of round 3, the Western Conference Final for the Edmonton Oilers. I feel safe in saying it. I think he was the best player. Connor McDavid and the Worm, Corey Perry. I love a Corey Perry 1 point, Corey Perry goal, Corey Perry shot prop. He's on the top line, and now he fully has ownership of Zach Hyman's spot on the Oilers power play, and it feels like Bet365 has yet to adjust for those numbers or that information. So pounce, don't walk, run to Bet365 right now. Your second line, Evander Kane getting a chance to play consistently with Leon Draisaitl and Kasperi Kapanen. Trent Frederick with Rico and who we expect to be Connor Brown.
Your fourth line, Pod Colson with the janitor and Victor Arvidsson. And your deep pairings, Ekholm, he's ready to go. He will be healthy. Evan Bouchard, Nurse Kulak, Jake Wallman, and John Klingberg. But actually, I think our boy's ready to go. So, Brett, why don't we do a quick shout-out here? Let's do it for Budweiser. Shout out to Bud. They've been brewing beer in Edmonton for 45 years. Brett, we'll do the video from Eli right after, and then we'll do this. Shout out to Bud, brewing beer in Edmonton for 45 years. Shout out to Mark Messier, St. Albert's own brother. Tyler Remchuk just gave me a nice point right there. Bert, let's get caught up with our pal Eli. He's downtown right now, giving us an important vibe check down at Ice District. Let's check.
All right, boys, we are ready. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, our Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. You can see everyone coming into the mosh pit now. Everyone's hyped up. This is fantastic vibes. You know, we got a good amount of high fives last time. Let's beat it this time. Let's go. Let's go Oilers. Let's go Oilers, everybody. Come on. Let's go Oilers. Come on, bring it. Let's go Oilers. Woo! Let's go Oilers! Woo, woo, woo! Keep it going. Cup, yeah! Bring it. Boom. Oh, yeah. Cup, yeah. Cup, yeah. Yeah, let's go! Woo, 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 woo! Woo, woo, woo! Let's go! It is fantastic vibes down here. It's a cup here. Right into this guy right here. See what we're saying? It is great. It is a cup. Yeah.
There it is. Why would you not want to be in this city, Devan Dubnyk? Was that the line for the mosh pit or the fan park? Either way, that line is insanely long. I don't think, sorry, people at the end, you might not be getting in there, but that's what you get here in Edmonton. Dubes, pleasure to see you in person.
Clap it up live.
We got to clap it up, everybody. Let's go. Everybody, we did it. He's here. He's real. Dubes, you've been here now for a little bit. Thank you for joining us, Oilers Nation Every Day, and the mega stream that went down earlier. We keep the content rolling here at Oilers Nation. Dubes, how does it feel to be back in the homeland of Edmonton, Alberta, the city of champions, damn it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's always fun coming back here. It just brings back memories all the time. I grew up in Calgary, I have family from here, so I've been coming to Edmonton since I was 10 years old. And obviously we had a house here and lived here. We had our first kid was born here. Tons of memories. It's changed a ton. But we came back last year for Game 6 as well, and the kids came and took them to West Edmonton Mall Water Park, and it was awesome. I always love coming back here.
Dude, it's beautiful. Look at the weather right now. The vibes.
Stays light forever.
Like, seriously, there's no better time for
that.
everyone to come here that we mentioned. Oiler game could finish. You could still go out and golf a couple holes if you want. It doesn't go down till 10:30 at night. And Dubes, you're hearing Greta Bar Yeg, brother. We finally got you down here. Are you going to be here for the whole evening tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I got nowhere to be.
That's my guy right there. Something tells me we're going to crush a couple beers. Got a picture right there in front of you as well. Dubes just takes the whole thing and throws it back. But Doobie, this is a highly, highly anticipated Stanley Cup Finals, the rematch. I talked about Wayne Gretzky loses to the Islanders. Then he beats him. And he becomes a legend. Sidney Crosby, same thing with the Red Wings. And Connor McDavid, is this his time? We know it. He's the best player in the NHL by far, best player in the world. The only thing he is missing is a Stanley Cup ring. Can he get it done this postseason right now? Because we remember last year, the Oilers, they go down 0-3. Connor McDavid basically went supernova, decided he had back-to-back 4-point nights in games 4 and 5 to get the Oilers back into the series. And the one thing I keep talking about, the Oilers had an 0-3 deficit to start that series. The difference this year, you're on home ice, okay? And you should get out. You should put your best foot forward, I should say. You should lean on your home crowd, and there should not be an 0-3 deficit. I'm confident in the Oilers on the money line tonight here and on Bet365. But, Dubes, what can you say about home ice advantage? That's the one big difference this year. We know that there's differences, additions, subtractions to both teams, but I think not only Game 7 being in Edmonton would be huge, but starting the series in Edmonton is the biggest piece.
It's huge, and how good they've been at home, how good their power play has been at home. I mean, and not only that, even take that away, the fact that they're prepared. They know they're not going to go down 0-3 this year. They know they can't go down 0-3 this year. And for whatever reason, it happened last year. Everyone was surprised, and then they got back to the team that we thought they were and pushed it to Game 7. But I think everybody on that team is more prepared. They've been business-like this entire time leading up. Even after they beat Dallas, there wasn't even like a celebration. It was just like, yeah, okay, we're here, but job's not over. So, all the expectations and what comes with the Stanley Cup Final, most of them know it now. They're prepared for it, and they get to start on home ice which they're not a different team on home ice. They're on the power play, that's for sure. But they got to use it to their advantage, because there really is no place like Rogers Place in the playoffs. It is just, if you haven't been in there, you can't describe it, and they got to use that to their advantage and just get the momentum going, get the crowd. Well, they don't have to get the crowd into it. Let's be honest. They're going to be into it from well before puck drop. They already are.
They've been drinking in that line all day. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about that.
They got to use it. They got to use it. And I think this game one is super important.
So we obviously talk about it a shit ton this postseason, because the story's been for the Oilers, the depth scoring. And I kind of argued before here that I think one of the greatest benefits in hindsight now is the end of the regular season. The Edmonton Oilers dealt with some injuries. Connor McDavid was banged up. Leon Draisaitl was banged up. Matthias Ekholm banged up. Stuart Skinner banged up. The list goes on. And I do think that created, just out of necessity, out of desperation, other guys had to elevate their play at the end of the regular season. And here we are now, 3 rounds into the postseason. And arguably what got the Oilers here, I say puck moving from their defensemen, but depth scoring, the entire roster showing up right now. The tough part is, they're playing a team that also has insane depth in the Florida Panthers. We keep talking about their third line, Lundell, Luosterainen, Brad Marchand. That's the nastiest third line that could ever be in the NHL. The battle of the depth tubes is going to be massive. We know the Oilers, hey, they've got the star power. They've got the supernova, Connor and Leon. They're going to win that battle. The depth boy is going to be big. That third line of Florida scares the shit out of me.
It does. That does not sound like a third line. It's not a third line. But that's the difference this year between last, right? Is that we're talking about, whoever thought that we would be talking about the reason the Oilers got here is their depth scoring and their defense and their goalie, the goalies. But that's what it is. That's why we're here. So if they can match, if the depth can go toe to toe with their depth, obviously there's nobody in the world. I don't care. Pick any of the teams. Nobody has the star power that the Oilers have with McDavid and Draisaitl. So if your depth can match, then you're going to have the advantage, because we know those guys are going to do what they do. They never don't do what they do. Even when they're having off nights, it's 2 points at the end of the night. So it is going to be important, but that's why it's a different feeling, a different vibe with this team. You know, getting here, they're winning games 1-0 in overtime and looking really good doing it. They're dominating games. When they're not dominating games, they're scoring at the right times from different guys. Obviously, McDavid comes through last game, but they're never letting games get away from them. They're winning hockey games in any way, and it's not just the Connor and Leon show, and that's going to bring guys closer together too and be ready to go to war.
The one man that they're missing, Zach, is another Zach. In one, ZMH, Zachary Martin Hyman. They pour one out for our fallen soldier here, but because of that, right, there's a lot of discussion. And I think last year, if you didn't have Zach Hyman, everyone would be very, very nervous about the Oilers. We know he had 54 goals. He was tearing it up in the postseason. But Zachary, this year, it's obviously a big loss. Never a good thing you lose a guy like that. I'm incredibly confident in this squad, and it's insane. We've talked about it. You've played with him before. You've played against him. You have Corey Perry that you can just take from the fourth line, plug this dude in the top line with Connor and Leon. You can plug him in on that first line power play as well. How big of a loss do you think Zach Hyman will be in this series specifically?
I think it's definitely a loss. I mean, look, this is a guy who has been playing really good hockey for the Oilers in the playoffs. He was on pace to absolutely smash the all-time hits record in playoff history, right? He had, 111 hits in 16 games. So they're going to miss that physicality. But, I think in game 5 against Dallas, some of the other guys stepped up pretty well. Evander Kane got into the mix a little bit more. Vasily Podkolzin throwing the body around. This is a physical Florida Panthers team, and I think that's something the Oilers are really going to have to be able to counter. And Duby, I wanted to ask you, speaking of countering some of the things the Panthers do, when it comes to their aggressive forecheck, it's going to be really important for the Oilers defensemen here to be able to kind of try and counter that. What do you need to see from them to have success?
Well, you counter it with quick and efficient puck movement, but it has to be crisp. That's where the execution comes in. It just has to be there. That's the only way to get around it. And that's when you see Florida dominate these teams. They did it to Carolina, where they just couldn't get anything going because they support each other extremely well. They have a high F3. They sunk a guy back. That gave the D-men green light to pinch. And when you have green light and you don't have that hesitation, if the guy just knows he's going because he knows he's got support, the only way to get around it is 2 or 3 quick tape-to-tape passes to get out of your zone. Now, they obviously have the players that can do it, and we've seen in this playoffs the difference when they execute. When they execute, it's bang, bang, bang. They're out of the zone. They're going the other way, and we know how good they are off the rush and on offense. And we've seen earlier on in the playoffs what we talked about them needing to be able to do it when they don't and they get sloppy and they hang on to the puck, or they turn something over when maybe they just should have got it out, and then it becomes difficult, and that then goes into the Florida Panthers' hands. So if you do execute and you make these passes quick and you get out of the zone, they have no choice but to back off. So they're not going to be able to do it all game for the whole game. If Edmonton can get the execution early to get out of their end, then they're going to be forced to pull back, and then different plays may happen. But sometimes it can just be a chip out of the zone too. As much as you don't want, these guys are too good to just chip it out, chip it in all the time. But sometimes with a relentless forecheck like Florida's, you're forced to just get it out sometimes. Get it out until they back off and then go to work.
I just say live to see another day sometimes. Okay, there's not a total winning play there. Just let's not make a losing play, I would say as well. And that Florida squad, they're pretty opportunistic. You cannot gift wrap them opportunities. We said that about the Dallas Stars. I think that applies handling the forecheck. And my God, Doobie, the penalty kill for the Edmonton Oilers. Easiest way to fix it, because I don't know if we can right now. Actually, Matthias Ekholm, very much so. I am hoping that he can be an impact here on the PK.
But I never had a
stay out of the box.
problem with the D on the PK.
Yeah, I guess, it's true. You've been clearing that.
Yeah. Stay out of the box right now. Let's just and get clears. I don't know. Get clears, stay out of the box. And we've seen flashes of where it works, right? And I think I don't know if there's just a little bit of not miscommunication, but being disconnected a little bit is what it seems like, because I think obviously with their system, their PK, I mean, last year in the playoffs, they were incredible. And I'm going to guess that it hasn't changed. So the thing is with all the movement up top and the forward switching, everybody has to be on the same page and going, because as soon as there's a lag or a lull, and then because there's so much movement, if somebody's unsure and hesitates a little bit, that's where you get the weird looks of like three guys in a line, and all of a sudden the guy's got a ton of room to skate out of nowhere. I think the idea is to pressure, but everybody's got to be on the same page and jumping right away, so there aren't these big gaps when the forwards are switching.
Let's move here quickly. We got a former goaltender on. Let's talk some goalies here, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. It's summertime, people. Bring your gear, bring your boats, your ATVs, your motorcycles. They will service them just like Sherwood Ford the Giant does down at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. But brother, come on. You can also buy a boat. And if you're going to buy a boat, you have to tell me so that we can then become best friends, because I need more boat friends in my life. Doobie, you sent me a photo of your lake lot the other day. Connect those dots.
Come on down
pretty
to
thick
yes.
over there. Shout out to Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Head on down there, the heart of Sherwood Park. Bert, could you pull up the tape between the two goaltenders? Sergei Bobrovsky. Damn it, he's good. 211 goals against average with a .912 save percentage and 3 shutouts. And then Stuart Skinner, also good. 2.53 goals against, .904 save percentage with 3 shutouts as well. But since Stu has taken the crease back, he's been electric. He has been unbelievable. He has a 1.73 goals against and a .931 save percentage. Now, you can't just take out the first 2 games.
Yeah, you can.
I will choose to be as an Oilers fan. It's my show. Do whatever the hell I want to do.
Yes, you can. Perfect. That's how you negotiate contracts. Listen, here's the deal, all right? I played 65 games. If you eliminate 15 of the goals, I had a really good save percentage. That's it.
Hey, there you go. I can make numbers say whatever I want them to do. There's a good Simpsons line in there. Statistics can prove anything.
I truly believe that you can take away the 2 games, because those are the worst games that the team played in the playoffs by far. Like, not even close. They were bad hockey games. And for him to have a .904 when he had like a 79,
that was the worst.
is insane. Like, that's really, really good. There you go.
Yeah.
944, 924.
So obviously last year in the Stanley Cup Finals, Sergei Bobrovsky was unbelievable. We know it. I mentioned earlier in the series, I thought he stole games for the Florida Panthers, where the Oilers just could not find a way to beat him. But then, like most goaltenders, the Oilers kind of solved him as they figured it out. I talked about Darcy Kemper, round 1. They figured him out. Adin Hill, round 2. They figured him out. Round 3, Pete DeBoer and the Edmonton Oilers figured out Jay Gottinger together. And I am confident that the Oilers can find a way to beat Sergei Bobrovsky. But, Doobie, it's going to be difficult. How do you beat a guy like Sergei Bobrovsky? Because he's been playing this good for so long in the NHL. He's one of the best in the league for a reason.
Yeah.
Just hack the bone. Just get in his grill.
It's tough. Listen, he's always been one of my favorites. Back, I played against him mostly in Columbus, and he was, to me, when he was on, like, I felt like there was nobody like that, where it looked like you couldn't score on him unless something crazy happened. And listen, he is that good. But so are the Oilers. So, like, if anybody's got the guys who can make plays to beat Bob even when he's on his game, it's the Oilers. So you almost have to prepare, like, as a team, to not get frustrated and just know that he's going to make 2, 3, 4 saves a game that he shouldn't make. And you can't start to get frustrated and be like, oh, the puck's not going. You just have to expect it out of him, because it's what is basically going to happen. Now, he has shown, like, I mean, there were the start of the Toronto series, the first round, even though they took care of Tampa, he was getting scored on. So he's still a person, even though he seems superhuman sometimes. He's a goalie and he can get scored on. So he can get off of his game a little bit. Not so much now as he used to. He's obviously figured it out and is super dialed. But like anything, it was kind of what we talked about with Ottinger last series, is you just got to create chaos. If he gets dialed and everything's structured, you might need some Connor magic or some Leon magic to beat him. But nobody can do that, anything about crazy traffic, crossing screens, shots, rebounds, mayhem. Create the mayhem, and then everything else will open up. Just know that it's going to be a tall task. You got possibly the best goalie in the world at the other end. That's the way it is. We're playing the best game in the world and the biggest stage, so you're going to have to beat the best.
And, I thought the Oilers were able to get to Bobrovsky even last year.
As the series moved along, they sure did.
Yeah, like I say, he's still a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
He
had a
good.
899 save percentage for Bob in the finals. Skinner had the 909. Like, and you mentioned the magic that the Oilers have. I mean, Connor McDavid and Draisaitl have proven time and time again they can score on anybody. And it's felt like they've handled some of these really top goaltenders really well so far throughout the playoffs. Like we were talking about it earlier. Darcy Kemper, Aiden Hill, Jake Ottinger. Like, these are really, really good goalies.
Well, and Kemper did his best to frustrate a team. I mean, you want to watch those games, that the overtime game and then game 5, if they can do that and not get frustrated. I mean, it was grade A after grade A after grade A, and Kemps was on it. It wasn't just stopping him. He looked like nothing was going. It was like every crazy play that they made, he was right on top of, and they just stuck with it. So they have been able to break some very good goals. Stanley Cup winner in Aiden Hill, Vezina guy and Vezina nominee in Ottinger, some pretty damn good goal. And then how well Vezina nominee in Kemper, and they've got to all of them, and that's how good the Oilers are. So it's going to have to be the exact same thing for Bob, and they can do it.
I do like the point you made, too, about not getting frustrated against a guy like Bobrovsky. Stick with it, keep going. And we keep going back to this experienced veteran Edmonton Oilers team that nothing surprises them. I think that message has probably been pretty clear from head coach Chris Knoblauch. The other thing, you got Paul Maurice on one side, Chris Knoblauch on the other. We talk about, the forecheck going on. How will they adjust? The adjustments as this series moves along. These two coaches, some of the best in the business. I'm very excited to see how this chess match goes down, especially after last year, 3-0 lead. Nobby adjusts, and then the tie gets kind of turned. Let's go now to the away lineup brought to you by Greta Bar Yag, my humble abode, the very bar that I have now been in here for 7 straight weeks, and I ain't sick of it yet, baby dubs. We're going to have an evening this evening, and Greta has a couple surprises. Every time the Edmonton Oilers score a goal, we have all this merchandise, dubs. You're going to get to watch me be literally in my bag on that microphone up at the bar. Last time I grittied up on the bar, so it's a little bit dangerous up there. It's a little thin.
That's my hometown right there. Well, not my hometown. That's where we live. That's
where
JJ. That's where the gritty came
JJ.
from.
He's on my keeper team.
Yeah, I get to watch every single kid on the planet.
Do your kids gritty?
No, not really. They try sometimes, but mostly just every single kid at their school.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, my brother's a teacher. He says that's where I learned how to do it. Bert, pull it up for me if you can. The projected lineup here for the Florida Panthers. If you want to check Twitter as well, see if there's any late breaking information. But we expect it to be Evan Rodriguez, who was an Oiler killer last Stanley Cup Finals with Alex Barkov and Sam Reinhart. Your second line, Carter Verhaeghe, Sam Bennett, who leads the NHL in playoff goals with 10 of them. And there he is, the turtle, the rat boy, Matthew Tkachuk. He's too loose to Reinen. He's healthy. He's ready to go. He's with Anton Lundell, Brad Marchand, and that aforementioned nasty third line. Then it's Jesper Boquist in for AJ Greer with Thomas Nosek and Jona Gadjevich. That fourth line is, I think, one the Oilers can severely take advantage of. When you put the Oilers roster and theirs side by side, the Oilers' fourth line has got some experience, where I'd argue last year you looked at their fourth not as good. Your D pairings, Forsling with Ekblad, Mikkola with Seth Jones, Nate Schmidt with Dmitry Kulikov. We only got a couple minutes here. I still got to do Bordzy's bankroll. They're probably not dropping the puck till like 6:30, the way we know
got time.
how this stuff goes. When you look at this team, Zachary, I ask you all the time, and every time I ask you to give me a player to watch, he basically scores in the first period. So I'm going to ask you again, who's your player to watch?
None of them.
There it is. You finally learning, brother.
I still remember the game against the Boston Bruins earlier this year, and I shouted out Mark Kastelik because I watched him play for the Calgary Hitmen, and he scored like the most garbage goal 5 minutes into the game, and after that I swore off, and I was like, all right, that's enough. I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
The one for me, so like obviously we know last year there's been so many, Brett, I even think we have the additions and subtractions for both teams here, but there's no bigger addition. Obviously Brad Marchand's unreal for their squad. Seth Jones, Doobie, you add an animal like that, a horse, I believe is what Sam Reinhart referred to him as on Spit and Chicklets the other day, because he's a dude who can just eat 25 minutes, all situations. And the very funny thing is, and I think this is us as fans, right? Because we watch Seth Jones go into Chicago. He's got this high AAV. We all know about it. We're like, this guy sucks, man. He's playing in Chicago. Now, that's the chat. That's most people. And then you see him step into a team like the Florida Panthers, fit like an absolute glove. And I mean, even further beyond this season, he's expected to be with this team for a very long time. Seth Jones, Brad Marchand's a big addition. I think Seth Jones is the biggest.
Yeah, and that exactly. You can't excel on a bad team. I mean, you look at Connor Bedard in Chicago, right? Like he's doing what he can do, but he's minus whatever. And especially as a D man, you're going to go out there, you're going to force things and get out of control.
You know this from your Oilers experiences.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So I mean, good on Florida for seeing what was there in Seth Jones, and they had an expendable piece with Spencer Knight, and Spencer Knight's a great goalie, but you've got Bob signed, they have their goalie, and so it was a great move by them because that's what Chicago needed, and they had a guy you don't necessarily want to get rid of a Spencer Knight because he's a great, very young goalie, but you have this piece that you can use to bring in a Seth Jones, and again, like you mentioned, he's slid right in there and just settled down. He gets to play with a group that expects to win every night, that expects high-level hockey, and he's contributed almost instantly.
Bert, you got one?
Yeah, I was listening to Morning Cup of Hockey today.
Boom.
Well, and they were talking about the bottom sixes between the two teams, and Johnny Lazarus was saying that any day he's taking the bottom six of the Florida Panthers, and his main reason was Brad Marchand. And I'm sitting there going, okay, so then you go Jesper Boquist, Thomas Nosek, and Jonah Gadjevich against Vasily Podkolzin and Matthias Janmark, and oh, by the way, a guy who scored 30-plus goals a couple of times in his career. I know there's always depth conversations with the Edmonton Oilers. This, I think, again, is a series where you sit there and go, the Oilers have the depth advantage 100%. I am so unfazed by that fourth line. That looks like a fourth line that the Edmonton Oilers would have put out in 2000.
Last year we had Sam Carrick, Derek Ryan, all kinds of guys playing.
Exactly. Like I don't understand all this hoopla about the bottom six of the Florida Panthers. I just don't.
Well, I think a lot of it comes from Marchand, though, right? It's that's what it is. Oh yeah, we got Marchand in our bottom. Well, he's not really in their bottom six. He's playing on their third line. But if you're just going to rank, but yeah, that's what I'm assuming where their argument is coming from. We got Marchand in our bottom six. Well, I agree with you. I think that overall,
I've got a Connor Brown. Damn it!
Yeah,
I'll raise you that.
I think maybe Marchand helps lift the ceiling a little bit on the bottom six for the Panthers, but I think the floor for the Oilers' bottom six is really solid. I mean, that fourth line has been great for the Oilers in the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised to see them match up against that third line of the Panthers. And I like the way this third line has looked for the Oilers too. Like Henrique's been really solid, doing lots of good things out there. Connor Brown, downtown Connor Brown, he's been great as well. I'm really curious to see what Frederick gets up to this series. I think he's somebody that I think is going to step up in a really big way. And I think the Oilers really need him to be totally honest.
I'll take a Trent Frederick fight right off the face-off. Game one, let's go.
I'll take a Trent Frederick hit the net. And maybe the puck will go in. That's what I'll take.
Yeah, maybe what was that one the other game? It was right on his stick in the dead slot. And he just fanned on it completely and nothing happened. He's been fighting it, joining a new team.
Yeah, I mean,
This is the time you can make a name for yourself with this fan base.
he's had some great chances, and obviously he knows how to score. He's missed the net a lot. So
yeah. Let's go now.
And I've got a good feeling about him
Ooh, that's perfect timing
because I just
for
chirped
Bordzy's
him.
bankroll.
I just chirped him, so I got to back it up.
Yeah, there we go. He's a veteran. Bordzy's bankroll brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You can bet on the cup winner. The Oilers, their favorites, which is a little bit crazy to me as we still think about that. I'm just so scarred on my brain. But here we go. It's going to be our year. You can bet on point totals, goal totals, plus minuses, block shots, maybe some saves for Stuart Skinner. And this evening, I've got Bordzy's bankroll. 7 days off. Had to reset. And I'm feeling good about my picks here this evening. So the options are, number one, Connor McDavid, 3+ shots on goal. Don't overthink it. Connor has hit this in 10 of his last 11 games. The only time he didn't is the only time that I bet on it. So, hey, keep that information with yourselves. During this postseason, he's also averaging 3.68 shots per game. We've been talking about the goal scoring. He only has 6, you mentioned.
Yep.
I even like a Connor anytime goal in this one, but I'm going with 3 shots. My second option, it's a boosh 1+ point. The man is a point per game player on the back end. He plays PP. He was playing on the PK for the Oilers. He just plays in all situations. 17 points in 16 games so far this postseason. He was 3rd in team scoring last year in the Cup final against these Panthers. I just like Boosh. He's been hitting this more often than not, continuing to roll it over. And then it's the worm, Corey Perry, 2+ shots on goal. -1. I believe it's actually -130, so I think I fucked up the graphic there. He has 3 points in his last 2 games. He's now stapled to Connor McDavid's wing on the top line. He's stapled on the top power play unit right in front of the net. I think Corey Perry could get 2 shots on goal by halfway through the second period. I even like him for a point or a goal. Parlayed together, those are all +320. So we ride with Bordzy's bankroll. Dubes, I'll ask you first. Which of these 3 do you like the most?
I feel like the Corey Perry one feels
Right,
like a tap
right,
in. I
right.
mean, I don't know. He goes to the front of the net. Like, what's a shot? Does it count if it just goes off him and into the goalie?
I'm
You got to
pretty sure.
imagine that counts as a shot. So, yeah, I like the 2. I mean, they're all good. And you can mix in a plus here. I think somebody said that one night.
I haven't been hitting these. I need to go minuses
All right,
together. They make a plus. You got to
Yeah,
walk before you run.
I like all of them though, but I think the 2+ shots on goal seems like a lock.
Zachary, what do you got?
I like all of them. I like the Perry one.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that I like the most. -130, that's a nice number. It's going to have lots of opportunities to get into the mix. I've dabbled in the Bet365 streets, shame reloaded, as we were sitting here earlier on the show.
I saw you shame reloading when we were live.
Yeah, it happened.
Shame. That didn't include what you guys were talking about. Shame,
A shame
reloading.
reload. You don't let anyone see on your
shame
phone that you're
reloading.
putting more money in.
Yeah.
Do so responsibly. 18+. Please play responsibly.
That's right.
Then you win a
Oilers,
$10 bet. You got $200. You're like, look, check it out.
Oilers money line, and then I'm riding my top line parlay again.
Oh,
Ryan
yeah?
Nugent Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Corey Perry, 2+ points for all of them, plus 1,400. That's going to pay for a couple of round of drinks tonight. I feel it.
Yeah, I sure hope that does. Final one, want to give a shout out to Tourism Jasper this summer. Find your happy place in Jasper, from hiking trails, battling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire. Happiness finds you there. Jasper is open, vibrant, and ready to welcome you back for more unforgettable moments. So drive on over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late, because your best summer memories aren't behind you. They're waiting for you this summer in Jasper. Plan your trip at jasper.travel/summer. Final one. Gentlemen, score predictions. Anytime goal scorers. Zachary, you kick it off.
4-1 Edmonton Oilers win. Corey Perry.
Like that, Dubes?
3-2 Oilers. Connor McDavid. I feel like we never say that.
Right?
It feels like a cop out all the time, but
It does.
I'm
it's
gonna
okay.
go. I'm gonna go with Connor. I think
I like
he's gonna look that first game in Dallas, the first game against Dallas, where he was like unlocked
He's
from
got
Jack Eichel.
He's got Eye of the Tiger.
He just didn't have Jack Eichel on the ice anymore, and it was completely insane in the first period. So maybe even a first period Connor goal. What's that pay?
I love that. Brett, what about you? If he's the first goal scorer, maybe even.
I'm going 5-2 Oil. I'm feeling this. So I don't know what it is, but I just feel it in my cubes that this is just going to be a murder tonight.
Just right in the loin.
Right
in
in
the plums.
You got that fire in there. You know, you should probably get that checked out, but we'll do that after the game. We'll do that
I'll
after
wait
the
for the
game.
playoffs.
They got meds for that.
I'll wait for the end of the playoffs. I have a lot of shit to do. Yeah, no, I'm going. But Leon Draisaitl. I think Leon Draisaitl is going to score the first goal. Like, there's the monkey on his back, and Leon and Connor are not going to be stopped this year. I just have that utter feeling they can't be stopped, and I think it's going to start from jump. Like, absolutely.
For me, I'm going to go 4-2 for the Edmonton Oilers, and I agree with you thoroughly. Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal. He played 7 games in the Cup final last year, didn't score a goal, only had 3 apples. We all know about the production. He was playing injured as the series went along. It wasn't good for Leon Draisaitl. He has spent 339 days, I wrote down, thinking about this. Him, both, and Connor. I like a Leon anytime goal. 4-2 for the Edmonton Oilers, and that will do it for us for pre-gaming with Bordzy. Also, actually, we got Bordzy bars. Let's see if he brings up the Hyman again. Let's hear from the guy who tried.
That was incredible.
Super chats, all in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation. Bordzy bars. Holy shit, Devin came. I'd come to Greta, but going to the game. Oilers on a roll, but higher we must aim. Those pussy cats will be tame. Florida again, but this year won't be the same. Get that cup and engrave our names. Clap it up. Nick High and Dry. Lance Kane, $5. I'm working out of town, but I sent the boys home early for the game. We are all at the bar ready for an Oilers W. If you're a boss during this time, is anything getting done? You got to be cool. You got to be like, everybody, get out, 2 o'clock, go do what you need to do.
It's like Christmas time,
But better.
Yes.
But
Better,
way
yes.
better. And the sun's out till 10:30. Your pal Joe, do it for Hyman. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah. I love it when Dubes does it. And then Lance Kane, $2. Doobie, do you love ska? Oh, that's Lance Kane and his ska band. He's ska.
What's
Lance,
ska?
I love you. It's like a type of music. I think there's like Trump. Lance, we love you.
Lance, I'm going to check it out for you.
Lance is your biggest guy.
All right,
Ask
well,
Doobie,
then I
he's your
have
biggest
to
fan.
check it out. I have no choice.
I hope Lance
Maybe
can
that'll
make
be a
it down
question
here.
on Ask Doobie next.
It probably, I know it will.
How do
be.
you feel about
How
ska?
do you feel about ska bands, Dubes? That'll do it for us. Pre-game with Bordzy, as I said. Oilers Nation After Dark coming at you right after the hockey game, live here from Greta Bar-Yeg. Me, Zach, Dubes, my pal Brett. And if it's an Edmonton Oilers W, you should get your ass down here to Greta Bar-Yeg because we're going to have a hell of an evening. Dubes, we love you. I'm so happy you're here,
This is
dude. This
awesome,
is
yeah.
awesome. We're going golfing tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
It's going to be a great day. Hopefully we get an Oilers W and we can be on Cloud 9 tomorrow as well. Love you all. Throw down your courtesy like on your way out. Get in the chat during the game. Also, I hate that the patch is on the side with the C or the A. I understand
That's kind of weird.
they have jersey ads on the other side. Figure it out. Put that ad somewhere else. I digress. I love you all. We will talk after the hockey game. Good luck, everybody. Peace out.